When I first got into flight simulation, I expected to be satisfied with a 4K flat screen monitor, and I was until I came across the Pimax Chrystal Super. This is the best VR on the market, and in my opinion, is worth the $1,600 that you purchase it for. For my personal use, I would use this for flight simulation, but you could use it for normal VR games, flight simulation, racing simulation, space simulation, you name it, you could use it for almost any game that supports VR, and it really makes it feel like real life, no matter what you're playing. Just a quick disclaimer before I get into the video, Pimax did send me this to review, although I will be providing a completely unbiased and completely my opinion review on the product. So without further ado, let's continue. When I first opened up the package and saw the VR, I was actually extremely surprised with how big the VR really was. It's almost 2 times bigger than the Meta Quest or the Oculus, but that's perfectly okay because of how much padding the VR has. Compared to things like the Oculus, the padding is crazy. It has padding near your eyes, on top of your head, and on the back of your head. It really feels extremely comfortable when you're wearing it compared to other VRs. Additionally, the resolution per eye is actually insane, offering 3840 by 3840 per eye. This is better than any other VR and most 4K monitors. And on top of that, it offers 29 million pixels on the screen, which is crazy. There's no screen tearing or anything of the sorts. The box that the VR came in is of very high quality as shown in this video here. It is a very heavy duty box and seems to be made of some not cheap plastics. Upon opening the box, the VR seems to be very safe and comfortable in the box. There's no wiggle room, and it really does stay still during shipment processing. In the box, you get an assortment of wall plug connectors. This is very nice because depending on the region or country you are in, they have different wall plugs to connect to, so it does provide a good assortment of 5 to 6 wall plugs for each region. Additionally, you get a cloth to clean the lenses of your VR, and a screwdriver with some extra screws. The last thing which is connected to the VR is your wires and plug. It's going to come with one USB 3.0 and one display port. This is for your graphics card. You input the display port into your graphics card to output the display, and then you put the USB into your computer just so you can get some extra power. It also does come with a wall plug for the extra power that is required by the VR. I will now be moving on to demonstrations with different VR games. I'll be testing out 2 games. The 2 games I'll be trying will be Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and War Thunder. Both of these games work really well with VR and known to be very good with VR. So I really do have high hopes for this, so let's see how it goes. After setting up all of my graphics and enabling VR mode in War Thunder, everything seems to be automatically set up. The screen is automatically curved to your VR FOV and everything of the sorts, and it honestly looks really great for the first perspectives. When first loading into an aircraft, you will be met with a third-person screen. This does really annoy me since the third person looks horrible in VR, but is easily changeable with your keybind. My keybind is set to V to change views, and it will automatically change it to your aim view and then first person. After that, you may notice that the screen is a little disoriented and your pilot is a bit off-center. You can fix this issue by setting up a keybind to reset the view for cameras. This setting is meant specifically for VRs, so don't worry, they already have all of it planned out. Once you set up that keybind and press the button, everything will automatically be set and positioned correctly, so your pilot is sitting at the correct angle. A really neat feature that I noticed when I first got into flight is that everything is true to scale. Currently, I'm in an older version of the Belgium F-16, and if you look behind you, you can see the wings and the tail. It is all to scale, and you actually feel really small when you're in the cockpit. This is an awesome feature, noticing that when you're looking at a monitor, it obviously is not true to scale at all. Additionally, when I first started flying, I noticed that the graphics stay consistent. There's no screen tearing, no motion blur, and no graphic deficiency. This basically means that there are no objects in the background or even the foreground that start to blur out, which is an amazing feature since obviously that does not happen in real life. With other VRs, there have definitely been issues with screen tearing, motion blur, etc. because the graphic systems are not the best. This offers one of the best graphic systems, its own cooling system with fans, and the best resolution you can get. providing 3840 by 3840 resolution per eye and over 29 million pixels, so it definitely is top of the line. I mainly use this VR on War Thunder for simulator battles, since that is really the only realistic game mode in War Thunder. I usually fly propeller aircraft like the F-4U and the F-7F because they have more open cockpits where you can see around more. In other jets, like let's say the F-4S Phantom II, you cannot really see outside of the cockpit since it is not very open at all. There are a few exceptions to this, like the aircraft I'm flying now, the F-16. Although it is not a very good aircraft in simulator battles, it is still extremely fun to fly. To sum up War Thunder with this VR, it really does look amazing and there are no big issues with it. Setting it up does take a little bit of time, but it really, after that, is a really fun process. Moving on now to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Just be advised that this takes some more time to set up and take some configuration of your graphics, but once you get all of that set up, it is extremely fun to fly and looks extremely realistic. For the sake of this video, I will be flying the Cessna 172 because airliners in the sim to fly in VR is extremely difficult. Additionally, you really do get that real feel when you're flying light aircraft because it does feel more realistic. Since the aircraft is smaller, it's more of a confined space and you can see out of the windows easier. This is really the closest you can get to actually flying an aircraft because this VR looks amazing in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The graphics look almost real, there's no screen tearing, motion blur, and it really just looks extremely realistic, just like War Thunder. This goes for basically any VR game you're going to play with this exact VR because of how good the graphic settings can be. Again, offering a resolution of 3840 by 3840. Most VRs are below 2040 or something around that range. In addition, both the background and foreground stay in focus the whole time. None of the environment or the aircraft gets blurred out during flight, which is really convenient and realistic. This VR could also be used for flying on the VATSIM network within Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and it would offer a more realistic way of flying on VATSIM. Since obviously, if you're in an airliner, you would see other airliner traffic the same or similar size with you, and you get to manually press all of the buttons and functions in the aircraft. It is really difficult to comprehend when you do not have a VR, but it is so much better than a flat screen or even curved monitor. Since obviously, you're not getting the real feel and it's not to scale at all. When you're in VR, everything gets put to scale and you really do feel like you're flying the aircraft at times. Both of these flight simulators and, I guess, war simulators are amazing with this VR, and I would definitely suggest you using them if you do purchase this VR. It is well worth it, and it really does make any VR game feel real. It is much better than any of the other VR competitors, and this company alone is revolutionizing VR. Every single one of their VRs is better than nearly any other company's VR on the market, and it really is changing how we see VRs in this world. For the price of $1,800, and at the time of recording, it is $200 off, plus my 2% discount, I would definitely recommend you getting this product. It has amazing graphics, features its own cooling system, and is functional with any VR game out there. Keep in mind that it does have 140 degrees of vision, and obviously the insane resolution and 29 million pixels. This, again, is more than any VR on the market, and it really does revolutionize everything. So to conclude, I would definitely suggest you getting this VR or any other Pimax VRs like the Crystal Light or similar VRs from the Pimax company. I will have links in the description to all of my affiliate links, which you can get 2% off from each product, and you can get an additional $200 off your Pimax Super with your next purchase, since at this time of recording it is currently on sale. So you can add $200 off plus my 2% discount on the Pimax Super VR, and obviously 2% off for any other VR of your choosing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out. See you in the next one.